So, Bread, man, tell me how you got started in the game, bro. You know, because there's a lot of people, you know, it's a lot of stories, man, out there, man. But, you know, you and Flames, man, y'all had some stories, man. I remember the last interview we did when you was over at the crib, at my old crib, and you and he was talking about, you know, what all y'all went through. And just give people, you know, a rare history of where you come from, you know, how you got there, and, you know, where you at right now. But just give them a brief history of how you got in the game.
Well, in all honesty, I'm a hip-hop baby through and through. I started off breakdancing in the early 80s. That was my initial start before I became a MC. I was DJing. Me and my brother used to DJ parties back in the day too, when we were teenagers. This was in the middle of us trying to establish a rap career, but, you know, still kind of doing something else. And then rap took over and everything else kind of became secondary after a while. I started One Man Records in 1994 initially, but on paper it wasn't started until like 2003 or 2004. It's funny because in my life I've been offered 3 contracts 3 different times.
Man, tell me who them people were, man. Real talk.
The first contract I was offered was E-Deezy at Rollin' Records. The funny thing about that was I had submitted a song which was produced by Tigger to E-Deezy, and E-Deezy said that I sounded like Too Short and Spice One. Given my West Coast influence, I've been heavily influenced by the West Coast coming up. You know what I'm saying? And the beat did sample Too Short cuss words. So with all due respect, I kind of paid homage to both of those guys because I came up listening to real music. So, but anyway, the dude was like, you know, he sounded like Too Short Spice One, kind of played me out and told me that the song wasn't gonna make it. But then, a year later, he had found out that myself, Trey, which is my best friend, and my brother were in a group together. And once he found that out, I think he heard a song that we did together, and he offered us a deal with that label. Now, this is the same guy who didn't want me on his compilation the year before, but he offered me a deal the next year. You know what I'm saying? The second deal was when I believe my brother signed to Perion
Records.
And the deal, you know, is like, me and my brother was close to the point to where he was like, well, look, this is how it's gonna go. Whoever get on first, we're gonna put the next person on. Naturally, he got himself a record deal on his own merit. And he was like, okay, Bread, I got a deal, you next. So that was the plan. The only reason why that didn't go correctly is because my brother ended up going to prison. 2 years later, 2002, the last contract I was offered was a label out of Houston called Pantheon Unlimited. I still have the contracts to this day. It's a 20-page contract, and they had words in that contract that I had never seen anywhere, and I think that should be important to people, that they know that, because a lot of people put emphasis on being signed. First of all, if anybody hands you any type of paperwork without any money, don't sign shit. I tried to read that contract myself and couldn't. So that's how I knew that I had to take it to an entertainment attorney for them to look at it. And when I got there, he read a page and a half, and he said, don't sign this shit, and passed it back to me. I said, wait a minute, you got to tell me what it said because I don't know what it said. He was like, well, basically, if you sign this, you're going to get 30% of whatever you bring in. That's a bullshit deal, even in 2002. So I'm getting up to leave with the contract in my hand, and the lawyer says, I got some advice for you that you don't have to pay for. And I said, okay, let's hear it. He said, man, leave out of this office, go to the courthouse and start your own record label, sign yourself to yourself. Smartest thing I probably heard in a long time at that point. And that's just what the hell I did. I walked out of his office, I went to the courthouse in downtown Houston, and I started One Man Records. I signed myself to myself, so guess what? You can never screw me over.